Part 68. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 671. Chapter 671 The Heroine's Halo. In the dead of night, Sunian, who was lying on the bed, quietly got out of bed. She walked to the balcony and looked at the stars in the sky. Actually, she still felt uneasy. The appearance of Lan Min set off alarm bells in Sunian. In the past few months, she had been hiding in her old house in order not to have contact with Lan Shi, but she didn't expect that Lan Shi would show up anyway. Sunian lowered his head and touched his belly. Mo Bao, what you said in your previous life is right. Lan Min, the so-called heroine, is an unbeatable xiaoqiang. She is always shameless. But don't worry, no matter how powerful xiaoqiang is, then I am also afraid of pesticides. I will definitely not let this heroine succeed. I will never let her succeed. At the end of the sentence, he patted his belly gently. But during the day, Li Baikan's appearance appeared in Sunian's mind. Li Baikan's words actually frightened her. Bilanji made her feel scared. Sunian knew very well what this fear was. Dependence. Whether it is this world or the so-called real world. She is all alone. Even with Mo Bao in her previous life, she was still able to hold up the sky. Since Sunian can remember, he has known that he can only rely on himself and cannot rely on others. If he puts his hopes and ideas on others, it may be miserable. Sunian closed her eyes. Standing under the night sky, I don't know what I am thinking or what I should think. Stand for a while. Sunian returned to bed. But as soon as he lay down, he was hugged by someone. Where have you been? The man's voice had a thick nasal sound, and he looked sleepy at first glance. I'm not going anywhere, I'm just going to stand. Sunian found a comfortable position in the man's arms and closed her eyes. Maybe it's because I slept a little too much during the day, but I didn't feel sleepy at all when I woke up just now. Then, the world fell into silence again. However, in the darkness, the man who should have been sleeping soundly had no sleepiness in his eyes. And he kept his eyes open until dawn. 3 days later, Li Baikan just let Sunian watch the video. Moreover, Sunian accidentally saw the video. The reason why it was accidental was because the appearance of Lan Min greatly stimulated Sunian. Li Baikan thought that if Sunian got too emotional, he could just find some excuse to get the things away and then go there as a joke. So when Sunian came to the computer and looked at the screen, his heart skipped a beat. When Sunian finished watching the video, Sunian had helplessness on his face. That's right, it's helplessness. Such an expression really made Li Baikan a little confused. Why is it so helpless? The halo of the heroine. The heroines in Mary Sue novels will have this aura. As long as she talks about herself, people around her will find her pitiful and credible. After all, in that Mary Sue novel, the heroine is not pure and unpretentious. How to reflect this pure and contrived nature? In this case, there are some stupid authors who just write about how the supporting characters think the heroine is so innocent, and they feel particularly sorry for this heroine. Hey! The halo of the heroine. Li Baikan fell into deep thought after getting the answer. At this moment, Sunian's complaints continued. However, Mo Bao thought of a way in his previous life. Li Baikan looked over immediately. Just to make Lan Min mute. Hey! It was not easy in the previous life. The corners of Li Baikan's mouth raised. As expected of his son, what he did was good. Mo Bao, I've done a good job. I have nothing to do with you, so don't put gold on your face. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 672. Chapter 672 Uncle Shen, the young lady is right. But when Li Baikan on the side listened to Sunian's words, he slowly felt uneasy in his heart. Because if Lan Min, the so-called heroine, could confuse people by simply saying a few words, something to get people on her side, then the situation will be even worse. It can even be said to be impossible to guard against. Sunian turned his head and looked at Li Baikan. Seeing Li Baikan's face look bad, she was confused. What's wrong, Baikan? Why do you look so bad? What happened to him during this period? Why does he not look so good? I feel like he is hiding something from me. When Li Baikan heard this, he couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. What was wrong with him? He knew that Sunian was pregnant and was very sensitive, so why didn't he control his emotions? So she quickly put away her expression. It's nothing, I just don't understand why this Lanzi simply said these words and let these people stand beside her. You must know that the old man pays these people a lot of salary. And these people are also carefully selected by Uncle Shen. If they are really so easy to persuade, then there is no chance that Lao Zai will appear. Sunian stopped talking when he heard this. So that's the case. Indeed, from the surface, it doesn't seem normal. The aura of the heroine is so powerful. But there is still a way to use the male protagonist. The male protagonist of Mary Sue is very easy to doubt the female protagonist as long as he inadvertently provokes the male and female protagonists to abuse each other. There will be no time to care about us supporting characters. In my previous life, I suffered. If you don't understand the plot, it will create misunderstandings for them. Create misunderstanding? Li Baikan began to think deeply when he heard this. But at this moment, the door was opened, and Uncle Shen walked in with an anxious face. Master, Mistress, I have checked up and down and started to select people. Don't worry, I will definitely take care of the old house. Clean Lao Shen checked all the servants' relationships immediately and carefully. As long as there is some overlap with Lanji, even just a little, they will be expelled. Seeing old Shen like this, Sunian couldn't help but feel a little distressed. Uncle Shen, don't worry, I'm fine. That Lan Min has no ability at all. You guys protect me like a panda, even if Lan Min comes. She has no ability to hurt me. After Sunian said this, Li Baikan walked up to her. Li Baikan knew Sunian's fear better than anyone else. But now she came to comfort Uncle Shen. But Lao Shen couldn't help but say. But what, this is just an accident. This is an old house, where Dad has been for many years. Don't you, Uncle Shen, even have this little confidence? If you really don't and let Dad know, then Dad will definitely be angry. I won't beg you for mercy at that time. These words calmed down Lao Shen's mood immediately. Young lady, you are right. This time it was just an accident, nothing serious, Sunian said again in a firm tone. Old Shen also realized that he should not talk about such a topic in front of Sunian, but he had been with the old man for many years and had been in charge of the old house for so many years. This was the first time such a problem had arisen. He is already old and really doesn't want to admit that he is in danger of death. While the two were talking, Li Baikan was deep in thought, thinking about how to deal with this matter. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 673. Chapter 673 Mr. Huo, I just received one. The next day, a bunch of dead animals appeared in the Huo family's old house. Li Baikan answered Huo Linyuan's call. Huo Linyuan's first sentence was, Li Baikan, what do you want to do? What do I want to do? I want to know what you want to do. Let your woman break into my Li family's old house. If I don't do something, then your Huo family will go to the Li family's ancestral grave next. Li Baikan chuckled lightly when he said this. if Huo Linyuan really has such an idea, then just tell me directly. After saying this, Li Baikan hung up the phone directly. When Huo Linyuan listened to the beeping on the other end of the phone, his expression turned ugly. Immediately I found Lan Min angrily. The moment he saw Lan Min, he yelled directly, "What on earth do you want to do? Lan Min, what on earth do you want to do? Do you really think I won't do what you do?" Such a roar really shocked Lan Min. "What do you want to do when you run to the Li family's old house?" After Huo Linyuan said this, he grabbed Lan Min up. Huo Linyuan was really mad. Although Huo Linyuan knew very well that Lan Min was very simple and was not from their circle, so he didn't understand anything, but he thought of Li Baikan's threat. Really want to kill someone? The old house is the center for wealthy families like them. If you rashly attack Lazai, it means completely turning your back. After all, filial piety has been given priority since ancient times. Even if it is not the feudal era, and even if some things have changed, this still exists. Lan Min's tears came down. I just feel that Baikan's mother is not here, there are no women at home, Sunian is pregnant, and there is no one to take care of her, so I just want to help. But after saying this, Lan Min was slapped hard. That's right, it's a slap. Li Baikan's woman is pregnant. You take care of her. Lan Min, you are really kind. Now Huo Linyuan really wants to kill this woman. At this moment, Huo Linyuan's secretary walked in. "Mr. Huo, I just received a recording." "What recording?" "It's the recording of Li Baikan and Miss Lan." Huo Linyuan's secretary seemed hesitant to speak. Huo Linyuan turned around and looked at the secretary when he heard this. The secretary played the recording. "Li Baikan, if you think I can forgive you, then take Huo Linyuan's life. Is it necessary to do this? Li Baikan, you can't even save Huo Linyuan's life. How can I trust you? I believe you are just playing with me this time. You are the most important person in my life. Li Baikan, since I am the most important person in your life, you have to prove it to me and kill Huo Linyuan. As long as you kill him, then I will marry you and make you my wife, Li Baikan. What do you want? I will give you everything. I can even guarantee that if you ask for stars, I will never give you the moon." This recording made Lan Min's face change instantly. "This is false, Linyuan, someone is provoking us, you must not believe it." Huo Linyuan looked at Lanji. "Lan Zhen, is it true? Is it really a lie?" Lan Jian spoke subconsciously. But at this time, Lan Min's mind appeared in the scene where Li Baikan once said similar words. This made Lan Min's expression suddenly change. Huo Linyuan didn't want to believe it either. After all, Lan Min was his beloved. But Lan Min's expression made him look worse and worse. Just at this time, Lan Min's voice sounded in the recording. "Baikan, this is what you said. If I really do it, you must not lie to me." End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Zhang Word. Chapter 674. Chapter 674. Lu Jing's witty disease occurs again. Lan Yan took a few steps back. "This sentence is not what I said. It really is not what I said. I have never said such a thing, and it is impossible for me to say such a thing. Really, Linyuan." But Huo Linyuan immediately grasped the key point of the sentence. "What do you mean? This sentence is not yours, so what you mean by this is that you have said similar words before, or Li Baikan has given you made similar requests." Lan Min shook his head. "Haha, you care about Li Baikan so much. Since Li Baikan broke up with you, you have tried every means to get close to Li Baikan. You have been thinking about how to resolve the misunderstanding with Li Baikan every day. If you think so, then I will help you." After Huo Linyuan said this, he called someone. "Throw this woman out." From now on, you can't let this woman come near you without my order. Lan Min was completely panicked. What does Huo Linyuan mean by this? Does Huo Linyuan want to break up with him? Linyuan, Linyuan, you can't do this to me, you really can't do this to me. But Huo Linyuan obviously didn't want to listen to this woman's nonsense. Let Lan Min be dragged away. For Huo Linyuan, no matter whether this recording is true or not, he must show his attitude. Now he is not completely sure that he can kill the Li family, and he cannot let Li Baikan find something to use against him. As for Lan Min, he felt that he had indeed doted on this woman a little too much during this period and needed to teach this woman a lesson. At this point Lan Min was driven out. Lan Min also had to put all his attention on Huo Linyuan. He began to think of ways to calm Huo Linyuan's anger. When Sunian learned about Lan Min's recent behavior, he felt inexplicably familiar with it. As soon as I thought about it, I understood. Lan Min wanted Li Baikan to continue to be his licking dog before, and he tried every means to do so. It turns out that Lan Min can be eaten all over the world with one move. This was not only discovered by Sunian, but also by the clever Lu Jing. And found Lan Yan, who was exhausted physically and mentally. Lan Min burst into tears when he saw Lu Jing. But just as Lan Min's tears were halfway flowing, Lu Jing said, "Lan Min, in fact, you don't care about me that much, and I don't exist in your heart at all. I'm just a fool in your heart, right?" Lan Ren, who originally wanted to express some grievances to Lu Jing, froze when he heard this. "Lu Jing, what do you mean, what do you want to say?" Lu Jing smiled miserably. "Actually, I have loved you for many years, just like Li Baikan, but no matter what I do these years, you can't see it. You only have Huo Linyuan in your eyes. No matter what Huo Linyuan does to you, you seem to be possessed. Same, since Li Baikan left, I have been thinking, you love Huo Linyuan so much, do I really have a chance?" Now Lan Min was completely panicked. "So I'm here to tell you that we won't see each other from now on, and you have nothing to do with me." After Lu Jing said this, he turned around and left. Lu Jing, you can't do this, you can't leave me at this time." Lan Min hurriedly chased after him. Lu Jing was almost overjoyed when he heard these words. Yes, this is what he wants. Lu Jing now feels that he is really smart. With such a smart person, it's only a matter of time before he wins a beautiful woman, he. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 675. Chapter 675. Sun Ying what evil have I done? Lu Jing was really happy at this moment. How could such a happy thing not be shared with others? So he found his good aunt Sun Ying. After Lu Jing danced and told Sun Ying what happened, he turned around and took a look. Unexpectedly, what he saw was Sun Ying's indifferent face. "I've said so much, why don't you have any reaction?" Sun Ying chuckled twice. The reason why she is like this is because she didn't want this guy to bother her when he came to the company, so she gave the security guard a death order not to let Lu Jing in. But this guy is still here. How did you get in? Lu Jing answered honestly, "I gave each of your company's security guards 1 million, and then came in." Sun Ying *2 at #%#. What's wrong? Why didn't you say anything? Are you shocked by my wit? Humph, you tried to stop him with this little trick. Just kidding, who is he, Lu Jing? There is nothing in this world that he can't do. Go. As expected of Mr. Lu, you are really rich, Sun Ying said almost through gritted teeth. Lu Jing didn't seem to hear what Sun Ying meant. Instead, he said smugly, "Isn't there a saying on the internet about being so poor that only money is left? I think this word describes me, hey." Sun Ying boasts that she has received the best education in the world, but now she really hopes that God will make this person poor. And son, I am really heartbroken now. As my aunt, why don't you care about me and hurt the woman you love? I really feel like there is a knife cutting my heart. The next moment, Sun Ying'er he took out a fruit knife from the drawer and threw it in front of Lu Jing. Lu Jing. I'm just making an analogy, and son, don't you know how to make an analogy? Sun Ying'er sneered and shook her head. I don't understand, but I know Mr. Lu, you come here just hoping to find someone to talk to, comfort you about how you feel about hurting the woman you love. So in order to make you, it would be better for me to understand your mood. Could it be that what you just said is nonsense? In fact, your feelings for Lan Min are not serious at all. After hearing this, Lu Jing looked at the knife on the ground seriously. After looking at it for a few seconds, he turned his attention to Sun Ying'er again and said seriously, yes, it's not heavy. This made Sun Ying'er completely speechless. This guy. Lu Jing was very satisfied with Sun Ying'er's appearance. He was joking. Now that Ji Honor is not here, it doesn't matter if he talks nonsense. Why should he really stab himself? It will hurt a lot. He, Lu Jing, is not a fool. How could he not understand such a thing? Sun Ying'er, then just shut up. I want to shut up too, but I feel really uncomfortable right now. I can't describe the discomfort. Lan Zhen doesn't weigh much in your heart, why do you feel uncomfortable? Lu Jing covered his heart. I don't know why, but I feel very uncomfortable. The discomfort is indescribable. Boo-hoo-hoo, and son, my aunt is pregnant now, I can't get close to her, I can only look for you, just because I am your nephew, just be a listener. Sun Ying'er felt that she was really going to be annoyed to death by this guy. What evil has she done? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 676. Chapter 676 Lu Jing's money-making ability. There is another reason why the witty Lu Xiaolei and Sun Ying'er are like this. Huo Linyuan and Li Baikan are now making trouble with Lan Min. If you want to stand out from the three people, you must do something. For example, let Lan Zhen see himself from time to time. In this way, Lan Min can always be reminded that they have broken up and that he, a handsome and wealthy man, has given up on her. Then Lan Min will definitely be able to feel how good he is and will definitely come to him to reconcile. That's right, this is what is called playing hard to get. And son, tell me what you want to eat for lunch, just tell me and I will definitely get it for you. Sun Ying'er, who had just closed the document, glared at Lu Jing fiercely when she heard this. I want to eat you. When Lu Jing heard this, he immediately crossed his arms and said, and son, how could you do this? How could you covet my beauty? You must know that I am your nephew. If you really have anything to do with me, if I think so, then we are and my reputation will be ruined if word spreads. Sun Ying'er. She closed the file with a snap, stood up and walked outside. And son, what's wrong with you? I was just joking with you. You are my elder. As an elder, can't you even make a joke? By the way, and son, there is a banquet at the Zheng family tonight, do you want to go? I haven't found a female companion yet, and I think like you, I probably haven't found a male companion either. If that's the case, then it would be much more convenient for the two of us to work together. At this moment, Sun Ying'er's brain was rehearsing 1,000 or 10,000 ways to kill this guy. But Sun Ying'er also comforted herself in her heart, comforting herself not to be impulsive, and to sacrifice her whole life for such a stupid thing. It's a real loss, a considerable loss, so don't be angry. And son, what kind of dress do you like? Tell me and I'll find it. Why don't you say anything? We attend the banquet, but it represents our family's face. We must attend with the most perfect posture. Finally, Sun Ying stopped. Did you borrow your mouth? Are you going to pay it back later? Can't you speak after returning it? Hey, how do you know? Sun Ying now really finds that cynicism is of no use. The point is that she really doesn't know what to do. This guy's money-making ability is really amazing, and I can't even compare to him. After all, if you are comparing your ability with this guy, why don't you tell the company's security guard, I will give you 2 million, but you will never let that guy Lu Jing in tomorrow. If you really do this, won't you look as stupid as Lu Jing? Sun Ying sighed and continued walking. Think of the best in everything. After all, this guy is here, so he can't harass Sunian. Sunian is pregnant now. If this guy really harasses her, it might affect the fetus. Sunian is currently almost 3 months old, which is the time when the child in her belly is developing her brain. If Lu Jing, a fool like her, is by her side at this time, it will affect the development of the child in her belly and turn her into someone like Lu Jing. So what to do? Thinking about it, Sun Ying felt instantly better. And son, I am telling you serious things, I am not kidding you, really. Sun Ying endured her emotions and continued to walk forward. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 677. Chapter 677. Sun Ying finally understood that this Lu Jing was here to take revenge on herself. Banquet in the evening. As soon as I walked into the banquet hall, Sun Ying really felt like there were countless eyes staring at her. She really felt like she had become a joke in everyone's eyes. If Uncle Zheng hadn't been very kind to her since childhood and couldn't bear to let her elders down, then Sun Ying would never have appeared here. Different from Sun Ying who wanted to tuck her tail between her legs and be a good person, Lu Jing came in with a swagger. And son, don't worry, I will definitely take good care of you at today's banquet. Whoever comes to toast you, I will definitely stop the toast for you. Thank you, Sun Ying said with a cold face. You're welcome, you're really welcome. As your junior, these are the things juniors should do. No matter how depressed Sun Ying felt, she still knew she needed to control her emotions, so she took a deep breath and walked towards the crowd. Start to say hello to all kinds of people. Lu Jing did indeed manage to hold back the whine. As long as someone comes to toast Sun Ying couldn't help but start to look at Lu Jing's appearance with admiration. This Lu Jing is not very reliable at ordinary times, but he is still useful at critical moments. Just at this time, an uncle who was close to the Sun family came over and said, Ying you are really getting more and more beautiful now. I was really a little afraid to recognize you there just now. Are you too complimentary? After hearing this, the man quickly shook his head. Ying what you said is true, you are becoming more and more beautiful during the 18th female transformation. If I tell lies about such a thing, if so, then I'm not too stupid. We've known each other for so many years, Ying Do you really think that, uncle, I'm telling lies? No one wants to hear compliments. Sun Ying laughed. But Sun Ying's smile disappeared before it stayed on her face for a moment. The reason why she disappeared so quickly was because Lu Jing's voice sounded, that's how could my aunt, Lu Jing, not be an ordinary person? If she was an ordinary person, how could I recognize her as my aunt? Sun Ying The man was also confused when he heard this. Aunt? If I remember correctly, Ying you have nothing to do with the Lu family. Why? I recognized it, Auntie Qian. I just recognized it some time ago when Lu Jing said this. He picked up a glass of wine from the tray of the waiter who passed by. Judging from the conversation you had with my aunt's son just now, you are my grandson's aunt's uncle. Since this is the case, according to the seniority, then you should be my grandfather. Grandpa, we meet for the first time today. As a grandson, I have nothing to say. In this way, I toast you. Sun Ying-er. That person. Sun Ying-er finally understood that Lu Jing was here to take revenge on her. Absolutely just to take revenge on myself. The man looked at Sun Ying-er and then at Lu Jing, then smiled dryly and drank. Sun Ying-er now really wants to find a hole and turn in directly. But Lu Jing was very complacent. He felt that through this method, he would be able to make Sun Ying-er see his sincerity. Once he sees his sincerity, he can have a sincere relationship with him. In this case, his relationship with Sun Ying-er and Sunian will be closer. During this time, he also tasted the sweetness of serious contact with their family. The final result was that Sun Ying-er helped Lu Jing, who was very drunk, to leave. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 678. Chapter 678 Mr. Lu is drunk. Jian'er, why can't you see my advantages? Jian'er, I have everything Huo Linyuan and Li Baikan have, and I'm older than them both. Sun Ying-er immediately covered this guy's mouth. This. The driver couldn't help but look over. Now Sun Ying-er really wants to leave him behind. Throw it down directly. Lu Jing didn't expect that but hugged her directly. I know you dislike me for being stupid, but I am stupid, but I am honest. No matter what happens, I will be by your side, Sun Ying-er didn't want to stay with this guy for a moment, so she coldly told the driver, find the nearest hotel to park. The driver also felt Sun Ying-er's anger at this moment, and did not dare to say anything, and drove to the door of the hotel honestly. After parking the car, Sun Ying-er told the driver with a cold face, come here, and get this guy off. The driver stopped the car quickly when he heard this. I then hurried to the rear door. But when the driver just met Lu Jing and wanted to pull him away, but who knew that he had just met Lu Jing was not happy. Don't pull me, there are no people in this world you can separate me from Ji'er, don't worry, I will never separate. Ji'er, I am the man who loves you most in this world. Neither Huo Linyuan nor Li Baikan loves you. Why you can't see me? Sun Ying-er really wanted to say that if she were Lan Ren, she would definitely not see Lu Jing. Long-term pain is worse than short-term pain. The driver couldn't pull this guy away. What else could Sun Ying-er do? She could only grit her teeth and say, I can see you. You are better than Huo Linyuan and Li Baikan. You are the best man in the world. I couldn't see you before, it was really because I was blind. Don't worry, I will only have eyes for you in the future. Really, I'm your servant. How could your servant lie to you? When Lu Jing heard this, he nodded seriously. Yes, you will never lie to me. You once told me that you regard me as your brother, and you have treated me as your brother these years. This is also your advantage, you just do what you say. Sun Ying-er was really speechless. This Lu Jing can really lick. After drinking like this, I still didn't forget to lick the orchid. Yes, but I also like obedient men. Will you listen to me? Sun Ying-er said to herself in her heart, be patient for the time being, and be patient in the end. As long as you throw this guy into the hotel, then you don't have to do this, right? You don't have to do this, that's right. Of course I will listen to you. With Sun Ying-er's coaxing, I finally coaxed this guy down. When they arrived at the hotel room, Sun Ying-er threw this guy directly onto the bed like a dead pig. Sun Ying-er breathed a sigh of relief and turned around to run away. But when she just walked to the door, someone grabbed her wrist, pulled her across her body, and slammed her against the wall. You must know that Sun Ying-er has lived so long. but I have never been hit by a person. The moment she met Lu Jing's eyes, Sun Ying'er's heart suddenly beat a few times faster. Where are you going? Do you no longer want me? Lu Jing's voice had a hint of crying, as if he was like a little abandoned animal. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 679. Chapter 679. Do you know what it feels like to want to kill someone? I knew you were lying to me just now. You don't care about me at all. Why can't you see me no matter what I do? Well, Sun Ying'er admitted that she felt a little sympathy for Lu Jing like this. But the current posture really makes Sun Ying'er a bit. If that's the case, then I can only. Sun Ying'er's eyes widened immediately when she heard this. What does this guy want to do? When she thought of this, Sun Ying'er struggled subconsciously. But his arm was tightly held by this man. Can't break free at all. Such a situation really made Sun Ying'er feel a little scared. At this moment, Lu Jing suddenly said, since you regard me as your brother, then I will be your brother? Let's just marry Jinlan here today. Sun Ying'er, what? When Sun Ying'er was stunned, Lu Jing dragged her to her knees and said, I, Lu Jing, would like to have a sworn marriage with Lan Min. I don't want to be born in the same year and the same day, but I want to die in the same year and the same day. Sun Ying'er. The creator is really amazing, he is able to create such wonderful people. Flow batch. The next day, Lu Jing woke up from his hangover and returned to consciousness. When I realized that I was in a strange room, I was shocked. I immediately started thinking about what happened last night, but I couldn't remember it. I just vaguely remembered that he seemed to be following Sun Ying'er. Yes, I followed Sun Ying'er out. This made Lu Jing feel relieved. Nothing would happen if he followed Sun Ying'er. You're awake. Hearing this voice, Lu Jing suddenly trembled. He followed the sound and looked over, and saw Sun Ying'er's face with a dark look. Lu Jing even felt that Sun Ying'er's eyes wanted to kill someone at this moment. Such a look made Lu Jing hug the quilt tightly and act like a little daughter-in-law. That, what did I do to you yesterday? Looking at Lu Jing's appearance at this moment, those who didn't know it thought Sun Ying'er had ruined him. When Sun Ying'er saw Lu Jing like this, she thought that this guy pulled her into a sworn relationship last night. And promised that his brother would treat her well. And it was repeated several times. You can still tell me what I did to you, don't be so lazy. Sun Ying'er didn't say anything. Pointed to the TV. Lu Jing looked in the direction Sun Ying'er pointed. When you see the picture on the TV, he now really feels that he is not suitable to live on this planet. And Sunday. Do you know what it feels like to want to kill someone? Lu Jing. Can you not appear in front of me in the future? Lu Jing shook his head. When she saw Lu Jing shaking his head, Sun Ying'er suddenly lost her composure. This guy has done such a thing, and he still shakes his head. Aren't you afraid that if I publish this video, your reputation will be ruined? Sun Ying'er was full of anger when she said this. But Lu Jing was very calm. I am not the only one involved in this video. If I am ruined, and Sun, you will definitely not have any good fruits to eat. So to be precise, it is more likely that we will perish together. I am with Sunday after staying with you for so long, and Sun, I can feel that you are a smart person, and you will definitely not do such a stupid thing. Sun Ying'er, why does this guy's brain suddenly become so easy to use? Sun Ying'er, it's better to have after drinking. End of this chapter. The vicious female supporting character's character collapsed after her voice was eavesdropped. Author, R.O. Wich Jong Word. Chapter 680. Chapter 680. The reaction during pregnancy is gone. One day during Sunian's third month of pregnancy, she suddenly lost her reaction. That's right, it's gone, suddenly gone. It was Lee Baiken who discovered this. Baby, you don't seem to feel uncomfortable for 3 whole days. Does this mean you are feeling better? You don't feel uncomfortable anymore. Although Lee Baiken was very excited, Sunian was very cold. The reason for the coldness was that she had experienced it in her previous life. It was the same in my last life. If I said no, it would be gone. It seems that I need to relax my mind about everything. If I really relax my mind, then maybe I won't be uncomfortable in this life. But Lee Baiken has lost a lot of weight recently. Even if I tell him, he won't listen. Really, if he continues to lose weight like this, isn't he really afraid? When Mo Bao was born, he saw him with a thin bamboo pole and was frightened. Hearing the end, Lee Baiken frowned slightly. It seems like we really need to consider this. Mo Bao had never seen him as his father in his previous life. In this life, he has become as emaciated as a bamboo pole. Tisk tisk, I think I still have to find a way. Hearing this, Lee Baiken quickly said, the reaction during pregnancy is really strange. It comes when you say it comes, and it doesn't come when you say it doesn't. But when I see my sweetheart, you are fine, my heart is in my belly. I even feel that I will be able to eat a few more bowls of rice at night. Sure enough, these words directly brought a smile to Sunian's face. Actually, you really don't have to worry. This period of pregnancy is like playing a game, passing each level one level at a time, taking your time. Lee Baiken walked to Sunian's side and held him in his arms. Yes, take your time. The two of them just looked at each other and smiled. The first 3 months of pregnancy have passed. Lee Baiken knew that the critical 3 months had come. The middle 3 months require a lot of nutrition, as all parts of the child are developing. So Lee Baiken summoned the most professional and best chefs and nutritionists in the world to study every day what is most suitable for Sunian. Such an attitude really frightened Sunian. But as a father, Lee Baiken had an extra pleasure. Every day I touch Sunian's belly and talk to the Mo Bao in her belly. This is an experience Sunian had never had in her previous life. Looking at the man who usually had a serious face in the company and outside, he looked at her belly gently. I am daddy, I am your daddy. After you come out, I can take you everywhere to play. What do you want to do? I'll be with you. I will accompany you when you read and write, and I will accompany you no matter what you do. These whispers successfully reminded Sunian of his previous life. Mo Bao was very sensible in his previous life. It seems that in my previous life, one day when I went to pick up Mo Bao from school, I once saw him looking at the fathers of other children with envy on his face. I thought that not having a father might be Mo Bao's regret in his previous life. But fortunately, Mo Bao will not have any regrets in this life. Lee Baiken lives well in this life, and I will definitely be able to give him complete love. Sunian smiled when he thought of this. But Lee Baiken's heart began to hurt because he heard Sunian's thoughts. This made Lee Baiken couldn't help but think of the time when Mo Bao was in his room in his previous life. He was really sorry for the mother and son. Lee Baiken reached out and took Sunian into his arms. In this life, I will live for nothing but you and our children. Sunian laughed when he heard this in Lee Baiken's arms. It is true that Sunian has very powerful abilities. Able to bear it all together, and indeed prepared to bear it all again, but no one is infallible. If you can share it. End of this chapter.